driving the economy with imports and exports. Minerals are Australia's largest export with approximately $107 billion for 2012 to 2013. Minerals won't last forever as we pillage the earth for our needs and growing population. The Bureau of Resource and Energy Economics states that while 10% of all Australian jobs are found in the resource sector, more than 22,000 jobs were lost in the mineral industry from May to November of 2012. Recycling resources such as brass from scrap metal within defence industries would reduce mineral depletion in the environment. The Department of Defence can provide a policy to assist in this area through their use of munition rounds that contain a brass alloy of copper and zinc and lack the appropriate policy for accounting, reporting and recycling strategy to account for all loss of resources in field exercises. The Policy Defence Munition Resource Conservation and Recovery Policy aims to fulfil this gap where resource loss could be avoided. The Department of Defence owns a vast area of Australia for training and other functions, with some under Commonwealth Heritage listing and run by the Minister Kevin Andrews. This policy will be implemented by a number of defence personnel as well as third-party contractors in line with the Environment Protection and Conservation Act, Defence Minimisation Policy, Defence Pollution Prevention Strategy, Defence Environmental Strategic Plan, and Defence Environmental Management System. Parties involved all fall under the Minister and include all logistic and environmental personnel from Army, Navy, and Air Force. Also, the Defence Material Organisation, as well as the DSTO and Defence Support Group, who link into the Joint Logistics Command. The varied sectors will provide training, logistics support, estate management, and information and communication with people and governance. Countries already achieved in this area are Sweden and even the United States military under the Resource Recovery Act. These procedures will be implemented under the Command and Control Instrument of Direct Government Control, as well as information instruments for training purposes within the Defence Force and surrounding community. Tools that will be used to assess the damage will be an environmental impact assessment and risk assessment, followed by a life cycle assessment of the cartridges themselves from cradle to grave. The CSIRO views the LCA tool to be the best method for determining the environmental burden over the life cycle for scrap metal. Hybrid input-output LCA will suit the situation best, given the complexity yet specifics of the project, with reporting standards meeting the ISO 5001 and auditing through the ASNZS 3598.1. Environment, biodiversity, or support to mining sectors are not the only benefits of this policy, but also economics. To give an idea of the scale of waste, say that each person actively employed in the defence only let off one magazine, 42 rounds of Parabellum 19 cartridges, standard, from the standard weapon of defence, the F-88 Steyr. At this base level, we are looking at over 79,000 active employees, $2.08 per pound of scrap brass, and 0.69 pounds of brass per magazine. So, $1.43 per magazine times by active employees, you have over $11,000 worth of wasted scrap brass containing valuable zinc and copper minerals. Metal recovery and recycle companies such as Sims, Trans-Pacific and One Steel state that the average price of brass scrap is around $4.50 a kilogram. This equates to over $11,000 in return on the base level waste previously calculated, which is a 98.5% return on cost. Defence is recorded to spend $63 million on munition capability a year. So if we transfer this percentage, the saving, over to the figure of defence, we've entered a revenue stream of $62 million. EEX website Australia states that businesses should expect to spend at least 1.5% on annual cost of product for monitoring, tracking and metering, bringing the cost to spend on such a project to $330,000. Given that this project could start a revenue stream, it is a highly desirable policy for reputation, economics and the environment.